stopped him with the block. He fell charged.
Oh, and he found
wow.
Wow.
Oh, what?
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this scene.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every scene
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Welcome once again to the Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition 2021 tournament. No matter what time in the world it is for you, it is always time for Ori Orando. My name is Shafe, joined alongside Cleanfell on commentary. Today's match features Turtle Run, rank 32 from the preliminaries, and Trojan Dude, rank 33. These guys tied neck and neck. Talking a bit about the runners, Turtle did run all skills and SBS all skills time around 39.50. Best prelim finish was 6th out of 15. Trojan, also running all skills, has a 30.52. That is rank 31st. Best prelim finish is 8th out of 9. But the heads up in the prelims between these two players has been a 2-1 record for Turtle, and we had a chance to talk to the runners before the race. Cleanfell, what did Trojan Dude have to say?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Shafe. I'm very excited. We've had a lot of Ori today, and we're ending it off today with a real good one because this is the match where the seeds are right next to each other, so you could kind of expect anything. As for Trojan specifically, I feel like in his own personal experience, the end of the prelims were really kind of hitting him hard with those really weird logical paths. So he's definitely come more used to those weird logical progressions. So he'll be looking out for those kind of weird paths that you don't really expect to see too often. As far as skills he'd like to see, he'd love to see some good movement tech, such as dash really early on in the seed, just to help for movement for both runners' sake, as well as stuff like charge up and double jump. Because as you said, Trojan Dude, despite coming back from the rando and isn't that experienced, and we already know though he is a veteran of the randomizer, coming back, starting up all the way back in the 2017 rando tourney, the first one Ori's ever had. And as well, a 30 in all skills. So very experienced runner execution wise. So if we get some really nice skills, he'll be able to showcase that for us. So he's very excited for this race as well. What did I know you talked to Turtle as well? So what did he have to say?
Yeah, just as you're alluding to with Trojan there as a veteran, he does have a bit of rust to shake off, and Turtle being a newer player to both the vanilla speed run and to the randomizer, he's kind of a little bit nervous about how he's been kind of randoing himself in the prelims, despite that he's got the head-to-head matchup 2-1 over Trojan so far. Skill-wise, he's looking for double jump, claims that it is the best skill in the game, and I tend to not disagree. It does augment pretty much every other skill that you can get very nicely, but he's excited for this race. He just wants to provide a good show for you guys. Being seed neighbors, rank 32 and 33. They just want to show off a high price and get guys excited for further matches here as we get started in the bracket stage. We'll go ahead and we'll give the runners a 1-minute countdown. The winner of this match will go on to face Banish Cloud. The loser will face either the person who died or Fupio in the lower brackets. We also have 3 more races coming up for you tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern. We have Avenged versus Gecko. 5 o'clock, we have Matter Monkey versus Aussie. And at 7 Eastern, we have Acrid versus Sunny Muffin, and a whole bunch more slated for the weekend as well. Plenty of Ori Rando action coming your way. If you've never seen Ori and the Blind Forest before, it is a 2D platforming Metroidvania, that meaning that you go around to collect skills in one area, which unlocks other areas. You need to get more skills and so on and so forth down the line until you can beat the game. And the randomizer is structured logically very much in the same way. It's going to place skills or teleporters or things that you can use in the early going that's going to unlock other areas and so on and so forth. It is an item randomizer, so it is skills and dungeon keys and ability cells, health cells, energy cells, all that good stuff scrambled about the world. And they're going to have to find some form of way of finishing the final escape, and they're probably going to have maybe a bit of a different idea of what they're capable or comfortable with in terms of finishing the final escape as well. Clean fell. Will we get a clean approved seed?
Oh, I hope so. I feel like there's a lot to look forward to with that. I guess specifically, like as you said, I'd love a good start with some nice skills. Maybe we could get, as you alluded to, some double jump or maybe like a glide, because being able to stall in the air for just a little bit of time provides some real nice just movement overall. It doesn't feel as like janky the movement because, like you said, this is a Metroidvania, so we've got some 2D puzzles and there's some jumps that can be a little finicky to work with right away.
Yeah, so we'll see what they end up having here. You're going to see Turtle on the left side of your screen. He's just going to pick up that experience off of the Rhino real quick because sometimes you're not going to get enough experience or an ability point here in the early going, and that's just kind of a nice safety measure in order to be able to go into Black Root. But it is 2 keystones as a start, as Turtle is indicating with his mouse there in the top right corner of the screen. So we're going to be heading straight into Glades, most likely, even if there is a skill in the early going here on the next 2 pickups that they are going to be able to check and clean. We are playing on the Forest Trees and competitive item pool today.
That's right. So there, we have some goals set for us in the randomizer because uh, we actually, there's a lot of skills in the game. There's up to 10 we can collect in here, but you actually don't need all of them to beat the final escape, and essentially like our final path to complete the seed. So we have some flags in place to kind of get our runners to explore a lot of different types of the map. Forest trees requiring to go to all 10 of the skill tree locations, which require a number of different areas that need to be checked, and some areas cannot be easily accessible without certain skills. But as far as other skills as go, there's also resources, as you alluded to. We have keystones to open up these doors, health cells and energy cells just to make our runners feel a little bit more comfortable moving about, and some damage boosts are also required for us to continue throughout the seed. So there's many different types of things that help our runners in other ways as well. So I feel like every pickup is just a nice overall slow, trek to continue on. But so we're heading to this Glades main area, and so far we haven't been alluded to anything that is a skill yet. We do need at some point a skill. We can't get many things with just nothing but sign, which is the one skill that isn't randomized. We also are getting a large set of map stones. Okay, why are we getting 20 map stones right now?
This is kind of like they got. Okay, so the way map stones work, I want to explain that real quick first, is that they act as IOUs. So when you pick up a map stone, it sits in your inventory, and then you turn it in, and it gives you something back to return. In this case, it gave back a map stone, and then immediately afterwards, they collected another map stone. So all told, they have 3 map stones now, and Bash, that is prodigious for Turtle on the left side of the screen, getting one of the power skills here in the early going. Thought about whether or not to go for the Frankie lure before ducking down here until wall jump, has opted that he is going to go and see what is on wall jump first. Meanwhile, Trojan Dude is going to look to take this Frankie up for a ride. Did not take the Frankie with him. He can reload the save here to reposition the Frankie and actually continue on up. I don't think the Frankie actually has enough health for that, so that's pretty much we can have to do, or lure it around. Okay, so he takes a death. Frankie's gonna respawn anyway. He's fine.
Yeah, that's a nice play there. And yeah, this is actually a very interesting thing you don't see very often. This is one of the few rocks in the game that can be bashed just like that. Not actually many rocks have this property, but Trojan can utilize that bashful rock to get these few checks. But bash only is, like you said, one of the most powerful skills in the randomizer, as well as just in Ori general. But bash alone is not able to unlock many things, but we did find something that works perfectly in tandem with bash, and that's grenade.
Yeah, so when we get Bash Grenade, I like to say that it puts Hollow Knight in logic, because it just adds so much utility and movement, and you can break blue things, and it opens up the entire right side of the map. If you're willing to sequence break, it opens up most of the left side of the map. Like, it could be a long time at this point before we end up seeing any additional skills show up. We're seeing Trojan Dude actually also dash nade his way up to this check here real quick. Will he alt R? Yes, he wants to check the Frankie Walk pick up over here to the right of spawn. Speaking of spawn, you saw him warp back to it real quickly there with a return to start keybind. We refer to that henceforth as Alt R, and Turtle, meanwhile, has decided he wants to see if there's anything useful in Spirit Caverns first that might make his traversal through Blackroot Burrows a little bit easier. As you were talking about, Queen, we do need to go acquire all 10 of those trees. One of them is in Blackroot Burrows. Could be a bit of a dicey situation here for Turtle in that if this is not a keystone... Okay, well, never mind, it's Glide. So this is actually a really comfy moveset. Now they can traverse a lot of horizontal distance with this Bastionade, because when you don't hold the direction, you actually maintain Basher's initial horizontal momentum. So if you are neutral on your inputs, you can actually gain quite a bit of speed. If they got double jump here as well, that would give them even more horizontal air retention. Very comfy moveset, but also a little bit scary in terms of being able to read the logic, because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that they can check down.
Yeah, there's many things. We like to kind of put this Ori progression into like kind of phases. First, we need to get access to a good part of the right side of the map, which has good areas such as Moon Grotto, the Swamp, Hollow Grove, all that different stuff. And with the simple combination of Bash and Grenade, that puts all of it into logic. Specifically, Grenade also locked a few pickups strictly behind that one skill. And so Grenade is used to light up some lanterns that's locked by a pickup right behind it. So that's also another thing. And Grenade also, in tandem, allows for the breakage of blue plants and blue walls, which can be used to get through the spider sack area, as well as get more pickups in those plants that hold potential other things inside them.
So it looks like Turtle basically wants to more or less full clear glades here, rather than going into Blackroot first. Not a bad play. Does have the Charged Flame tree as well. Even on the trees, no tree vantage yet for either runner. We're going to see Trojan on the right side of your screen go into Spirit Caverns as well. We know, I believe, that he's only going to get one more keystone here, if I recall correctly, and then it's Glide and something else over on the right side. Could opt to do an early K-dupe here if he really wanted to try and push Valley entry early. We'll have to see what he does. Turtle, in the meantime, left side of your screen, has opted to go into Blackroot Burrows, wants to find out where other progression might be and get an indicator of whether or not he has to go sort of the intended way through the spider sack area to get over towards Swamp and Moon Grotto. So we'll see here some additional checks just a little bit sooner than we'll see on Trojan Dude's side. So eyes left on Turtle screen for the next few pickups.
Yeah, definitely. So we're heading through now Blackroot Burrows, which is a section that is kind of like an auto-scroller with these platforms that Ori has to traverse, and uses an orb to kind of light up the platforms as you see them. But and usually we like to say that this is an area that people usually go to because it's not faster with many things, but Bash Grenade is actually one of the big things that significantly decreases the amount of time that you will be in this area. You can use Bash as there's some projectiles that shoot across this area that you can use to bash throughout the entire area, as well as there's a grenade lantern that you can use to light up to get access to where the dash tree is. So this should be a very fun Blackroot Burrows for both of our runners here. I feel like they'll be happy that it's not as annoying as other Blackroot Burrows ways can be. For sure.
Yeah, like you say, it is one of the few skill sets that you can use to pretty much skip the entirety of all of the auto-scrollers here in Blackroot. It does not seem like anything more of note has as yet been found. I want to keep an eye there, top left of both runners' screens, that 3 map stone count, early 4 total map stones. Might be something that will be weighing on the runner's mind. Option here for Turtle, left side, to just light this lantern with a grenade rather than waiting for the orb. And looks like he did throw a grenade just as he was landing there before. You could see the orb sort of trailing around it in the background. And both runners are going to be entering this area roughly around the same time. And do they know the triple bash nade set? It looks like Turtle is going for it. He's a little bit too far to the left. Doesn't want to become fried Ori.
And Trojan's opting to just fry the platform normally. Ooh, take his death, but a nice safety save right there. That dash tree to get back there very soon. And speaking of the dash tree, that will be our first clue to one of our dungeon keys. So maybe we'll see immediately that one of them's on a mapstone, and we'll just get that, rip the band-aid off and say, oh, here's your mapstone dungeon key. Or maybe it's not. We'll just have to wait and see what the game wants to give us here.
Yeah, so we'll talk quickly about save anywhere that you're going to see these rotas do a lot throughout the randomizer. Seeing it pop up right now on Turtle's screen. This is how we trick the ability menu into thinking that we've closed it, and allowing us to have control of Ori while we move behind the ability menu. And then whenever you save the game, which happens when you level an ability on the skill tree, it saves your position. So save anywhere. We use that predominantly for skipping cutscenes, but there's also some other fun tricks that we can do with that. Sunstone is in Misty. That is our first clue. Always happy to get the hint as to where one of the required dungeons is. And Turtle's having some trouble here getting up to this plant. And it's going to be dash first for a Trojan.
My goodness.
Herculean for Trojan, dude. Of course, Turtle's going to be getting that very shortly as well. This is going to be a very zip seed. So you want to talk quickly about the importance of energy management when you have this skill set, charge dash, bash cancels, etc.
Yeah, so all these abilities that they can use and actually get upgraded, charge dash specifically being in the ability tree and the blue tree. They can utilize that to have massive, super quick horizontal movement, but it does cost energy. But you can actually cancel the charge dash before it completely goes through with certain other skills, and one of those skills is bash. You can actually refund essentially the energy. So this is going to be a very fun seed. We have a lot of movement both in the vertical direction and the horizontal direction, and the map is just open. So I feel like right now both of our runners are kind of the same area because they both found dash from the same time. And but I know after this they could both go who knows where, and so I'm very excited to see kind of where they will intend to go first.
Yeah, so there's a quick sequence break that they can do to Grotto here. There's a Frankie that they'll have to be careful to not kill. Oh my god, another mapstone on a mapstone turn in. What is this seed?
2 for 2, okay.
Yeah. So this Frankie down here, Marvin, does not respawn if you kill him. And oh, interestingly, immediate divergence. Turtle wants to go to Grenade Tree right now. He's going to lure this Frankie through the crushers by very specifically timing his dashes so that the Frankie doesn't do a high hop. He wants to make sure it's short hop so that the Frankie doesn't kill itself on this spikes, because if it dies, he's going to have to reload. Again, this Frankie does not respawn. It's intended to die in the middle of the Indiana Jones boulder chase there. Trojan Dude wants another energy cell, remembers that there's one under fake flippers there on the right side, so he dips down to pick that up real quick. We'll see where he goes from this point on. In the meantime, one more hop for Turtle on the left side. Has to be careful managing both his health and the Frankie's. Breaks the floor, and he alt R's. Interesting, he just wanted access to that immediately.
He did not have energy to save, which is...
yeah, you know what? Maybe he's going for the safety play. Good point.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Trojan finds, guess what? Another mapstone under that boulder. So they have access to map 6 already. So this is either the game is just messing with us, or there is actually something pretty important, more likely, or not. As you said, meanwhile, I think Turtle also remembers about that the fake flippers there pick up, and looks like he intends to go get it. Yes. Oh wait, where was? Oh no, I think he saved before. Okay, so he. Oh man, the floor is no longer broken. Oh, yeah, that is heartbreaking.
Yeah, he lost probably to the tune of about a minute there. We'll see whether or not he decides to go for it again. That is, no, looks like he's going to take the Frankie up to this peg instead and just take this lower access point into Grotto. Meanwhile, Trojan does find left side access here at Valley Entry. He gets the Valley Teleporter, which is a pickup that is also placed around in order to speed things up in the rando, and climb as well. The first wall interaction, based on this play here for Turtle going into Grotto, unless wall jump is hiding here, it's probably going to be a little bit before he ends up finding wall interaction. This Frankie is very low on health. Turtle has to be very careful about how he sets up his bash nades. Down to 1 HP, gotta avoid that Frankie. Altar.
It's got a chair. Okay, he's fine.
It's got a chair!
Okay, we are fine for now. Turtle's still not really saved. Okay, there he goes on the teleporter, and he has saved. Meanwhile, Trojan has opted to keep this Grove TP, which I kind of like, because if you skip it with another save anywhere, you won't be able to use that teleporter later. We do have the valley teleporter though, so there's a chance we might not need to return to that area right away. As meanwhile on the left, Turtle is utilizing that Frankie Peg stomp to head into Grotto, be the first one into the Kumo's hideout.
Yeah, you can kind of tell just by Turtle's mouse movements, he was a little bit upset about how that play that he was making didn't pan out, and he has opted to go down here into Grotto. Much more dense area of checks than what we're going to see on Trojan side. I mean, it's fairly dense here in the Grove main area for Trojan, but there can be a lot of very rapid checks here for Turtle. Ooh, gets the Swamp TP. That's actually pretty nice. Isn't going to have to worry about bash nading up through the Moon Grotto laser area. Is just going to be able to take the teleporter right there to Grove main. In the meantime, 89 experience as he goes up to this health cell for a little bit more XP. As the runners are going to be pushing, I would imagine, for that early charge dash. Ooh, 390 experience underwater. That can be indicative that we are not going to get a clean approved seed today.
Not today, but we are getting a seed that I'm a big fan of because they have just so much of the map open. Now that could, spell trouble for kind of when we're gonna get the next set of progression at this point, because we're still kind of waiting to see where the game wants to go. If one of the dungeon keys just happens to be on the way. We already know the Sunstone's in Misty, but potentially the Water Vein could still be in many different locations. So we'll have to see. And again, I kind of like this from both runners just being completely in different areas, but because the fact that this allows them to go in many different areas, and so there's no real what's the best play with a bash nade seed. Just going everywhere. That's the best play. Yeah,
exactly, because I mean, pretty much the entire right side of the map is available for checks other than like inner swamp area right now for the runners. So logically speaking, anyway, they can see what's breaking there if they want, but checking everything, because I mean, progression could be literally anywhere, definitely not a bad idea. And plus, probably looking for a little bit more in the way of resources as well. 5 keystones you see on Trojan side. I believe that's 8 on Turtles. So not doing too bad on the keystone count. Still want to keep an eye on those map stones. You talked about it earlier. Access to 6 could be either a big debate, or we could see something important on map stones. You see Trojan here is actually trying to jump into a very precise spot on those brambles there. It's actually a place where the hitbox does not do any damage to you. We'd like to call them friendly spikes, and there's a whole bunch of them that are sort of scrambled about the game world. There we go, now he gets it. So you can throw the grenade at that lantern and bash off of it and go to this energy cell pickup here, and it gets an ability cell. One more step closer to charge dash. Turtle having a bit of trouble getting out of lower left. Grotto's ability cell there does finally get it with a bash nade sequence, and is going to be looking to check the 2 pickups here in Grotto Vault.
Yeah, he was actually attempting a trick called a save drop, where you use it, like save anywhere. If you use it in the air, when you reload the game, it'll actually send you to the bottom. It looks like he's actually going to try for it again, but the first time he did it, he was kind of respawned inside of the rock, and so it's just getting instant killed over again and again. But this time, oh, very nicely done, is spawns to the right of the rock, and he's able to get through. So that's a very nice trick from Turtle's side, and we'll see if that alludes to anything. Nope, sadly just experience for his troubles there.
Yeah, maybe an indicator that 4 energy is kind of somewhere around mid-game. You're seeing those 140 experience values, but mid-game could just as easily be, the next 2 pickups. So definitely not a bad idea for Turtle to be checking that. And he's got a teleporter here. He's going to go back to Blackroot. I think he wants to make another attempt at this Frankie lure. Or he wants to go back up to, top through Grotto there. Just wants maybe a bit of an energy refill. You see a couple checks here in the Horror Fields area for Trojan. Doesn't seem like he has found anything of note either. He does seem to be the one that is kind of pushing for these mapstone altars a little bit early, while Turtle seems a little bit more focused on trees. Wants to try and find where that water vein clue is.
Yeah, for sure. We're kind of seeing just Trojan take slight pauses here and there as he kind of goes through the seed, and it totally makes sense in a scenario like this. We just think, okay, there's many different areas I could go. I could, and even not even in logic stuff like swamp or the stomp tree, he can make it there with some swamp specific tricks. And it's just a question of what way decisions are just better than the others. and we'll have to just wait and see kind of where we get from both runners. And Turtle is going to get that double jump tree and actually finds the Sorrow teleporter.
Ooh,
That's very
pretty
nice.
big. And charge jump
Oh,
on the double
hey.
jump tree as well. Full-blown left side access. The only thing he's missing clean is climb over in valley entry. Then he has grenade jumps, and he can just slam this seed out the park.
Oh man, we have so much great movement tech just ready and available for both runners. I'm super. This is a super fun seed, and Turtle's very excited. For sure. We're gonna see where immediately he intends to take that, because we already had the valley. Oh, well, we already know where the valley teleporter is. It's in valley entry. So that was Turtle's first access to the left side. Well, Trojan already has access via that valley TP, but that was right next to the double jump tree. So without a doubt, Trojan will find that Sorrow TP as well when he goes for that tree.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting in terms of what sort of skill parity or disparity that we see between runners, because going to valley entry, especially with a skill set like this, probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Turtle unless he's feeling a little bit starved on resources. So I would anticipate that that's going to be sort of one of the last places he goes, if he goes there at all. In the meanwhile, Trojan is definitely going to get charge jump. He can't avoid it. It's on a required pickup. And he already has climb, so he's going to have access to grenade jumps 100%, which is still a question mark for Turtle. And it's also a little bit harder for Turtle to get out of the Sorrow TP without having climb. Could be an indicator for him to maybe dig a little bit as well with the Sorrow TP, because climb charge jump does put that in logic for him. So we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Turtle thinks that this is sufficient enough for as a go mode skill set, or at the very least what we call a lumberjack skill set, which means you just go and hit trees to get your clues as fast as possible, or whether or not he wants to dig a little bit more and stomp as well for Trojan Dude.
There are
Big
skills
find
flying all over.
Yeah, they're all in grotto and like swamp area pretty much. Other than like, what is this? They've got everything. Literally almost every. They are missing double jump, wall jump, and charge flank. That's it.
It's gotten to a point where we have so many of these massive power skills that even now, like, the small ones are becoming more of an impactful moment, because Turtle actually had to alt R because he was at the bottom of that XP next to the mortar shot, and he had actually no way to leave without alt R'ing because he had no form of wall interaction. So we're at the point of the seed where even wall interaction would be just a nice find to have. Meanwhile, Trojan will be our first person to make it to the left side via the Valley teleporter. That's interesting.
Yeah, this is an interesting decision, I think, by Trojan. He was kind of in the stomp-ish area there. He could have definitely taken these skills to go directly to the stomp tree. I'd be interested in asking him what his thought process was after the race, but this is definitely a fast tree for him to get as well. A couple quick checks that he can make on the way, including this bird stomp, so aptly named because of said bird stomp, which you just witnessed. Also the fast accomplice ability cell, another XP, and of course the pickup that you're going to get off of feather, and progression towards the trees and the clues. So, like, definitely not a bad decision from Trojan Dude by any stretch of the imagination, but just kind of one of those curious points, you know. In the meantime, we're seeing Turtle. I believe he's going to grab Ringo. Yes, our frog, who is a drummer. If you bash him over the left side, he decides to drum on logs. And he's going to do a bit of tech here that we call swamp entry.
Yeah, so this is actually a trick using the all skills. It's kind of a different form for him because we actually have charge jump, so he only needs to let the frog bash this first wall, but he's going to utilize this frog to essentially get into Stomp, which is a pretty nice tactic, and you'll be able to pretty easily make it to that Stomp tree. So this is just definitely a very interesting situation for both runners. Thanks, Sigma, for the 1 XP on Mapstone 4.
Thanks, Sigma.
But so they both essentially have a skill go mode. They can both complete the escape with their skill sets, but they both kind of have a little bit of varying skill sets. So it's kind of like different to see how both runners are going to opt to route their skill sets. To say maybe Turtle would like something else, maybe Trojan would like something else with his. It kind of just depends.
We see Trojan Dude moving up to charge dash. Looks like he wants to immediately head over to Sorrow, perhaps, with a rocket jump off of these frogs. Turtle ended up becoming a victim of Unity physics, could not collect the extra energy that he wanted to in order to be able to rocket jump off of this mortar shark, or perhaps he placed a save that miss, I'm not sure actually. But does successfully pull off a somewhat precise double bashing sequence. We have made it a little bit easier in the randomizer to allow that to occur. It is much more difficult in the base game. A lot of runners will do that with scroll wheel as a result, but it's just a simple click thing that we use in the randomizer. And we're gonna see here, is this... Oh yeah, no, that's right, I forgot. Turtle didn't finish off that black root Frankie Walk, and you can see him mousing over that right there. Tree 5 out of 10 for Turtle, and we have got 4 right now for Trojan Dude, who's gonna have a much faster time getting down to lower black root here, just being able to stomp this floor open.
This is very interesting from Trojan's side as well, because he is definitely showing off traits of like a skill Gomo, but it looks like he's going to take a little bit of time before he gets the double jump tree, which we know has charge jump, which is kind of an interesting kind of way he's decided to route these trees for him. He kind of he's go through the seed, you don't really think much of it, but for us it's like, oh well, he could have charge jump pretty soon and he'd know that, and maybe
yeah,
well made jumps.
And you're in the middle of a seed too, and you're like, oh crap, is this skill go mode? And so you're just like, tree, what tree can I hit? Okay, Valley Edge, go! And so it's definitely understandable. Like, there's some parts of the randomizer that you go autopilot, and there's other parts where you just sort of like panic and you make decisions. And once you make that decision, you just go with it, right? Because you're there already, you might as well just stick with it rather than try to second guess yourself. Definitely faster for Trojan once he went to the Valley Teleporter. Even if he did second guess it in his head, well, maybe I should have continued in Swamp. It's like, oh, well, I'm here now, I'm gonna get this tree. So I like that decision from Trojan, regardless of like sort of what the impetus behind that was. He is now caught up on trees. Turtle's gonna regain the advantage very shortly here, does successfully pull off the Frankie Walk once again, nearly gets fried in the laser, had trouble getting that charge jump off in time, but does successfully manage it. A couple more bash nade sequences here, and then he'll be on the way to the grenade tree as well. Does have to drop down for an energy crystal or watch a really long cutscene. Turtle?
There's actually been kind of a theme for Turtle. He's been having some really great execution, but just the energy just has not been friendly to him at all. He's had such trouble time with this energy just not being nice to him. And
oh man, no. Okay, he placed a save. He placed a save after the Frankie stomped the floor. It's fine.
Everything is okay.
But he's only on 2 energy. That's actually a good point that you make, Clean. Trojan's got 4, so he's got a lot more leniency with his charge dashes and saves. You might think, oh, it's only 2 energy. It's a massive deal having that extra 2 energy. So it's no small wonder that Turtle's having a bit of a struggle here with the energy, just because he's got such a limited amount of it available to him. I believe they both have charge dash efficiency, but when you're only on 2 energy, that doesn't mean a whole lot. Oh, all the energy's in Misty. That's where it is. Okay.
Oh, makes sense, I guess. But looks like Turtle will, he has rid all the enemies of this area, so he should be fine and we'll be able to skip this cutscene. Meanwhile, we got the Misty visit from Trojan. Now, this is actually pretty important. So we know that the Sunstone's in here, but we also don't know where the water vein is yet. So you don't really, expect to have both pretty key dungeon keys in an area like Misty Woods or stuff like that, but it's a potential to happen. So this is definitely an interesting play from Trojan. And look at that, we get a 3rd energy for Turtle. The grenade tree rewards him finally another energy.
That's kind of funny. We are going to have the water vein clue on tree 9, by the way, so we know that once Trojan gets here to this time tree, regardless of the fact that he would still need to go to charge jump, that we wouldn't be getting said water vein clue for a while. So it could be a double dip visit here in Misty for Trojan. It's going to be a few minutes before we find that out. Still does have to double back towards the double jump tree as well. We'll see what his decision is, as he is now caught up to Turtle on trees. Turtle is actually making the play towards Valley entry here. Might end up getting climb. That would be very good for Turtle at this point, because he has the Sorrow TP, which Trojan does not. and is going to have first access to the Triforce of grenade jumping.
I see a very interesting play from Turtle, because we already know he does have access to the left side, but he's chosen to come into this valley entry play, which is not really near any trees, so you don't really expect to see that right away. But takes another death, but he is kind of right there, so not too bad. And so Trojan's going to continue to dip into Misty. This is actually a pretty deep trek. We're already past the third keystone, and there's about 5 more pickups, I believe. Yes, 5 more pickups in Misty for our Sunstone to be. One of them being grenade locked, but luckily we have grenade, and one of them being the Gumon seal itself. So that might be a fun, interesting situation. We have to go that far.
And Turtle's got climb, and he is excited about that. He's circled the toast notification up there at the top, and immediately altars out of valley entry, lands up on the teleporter and says, yep, Sorrow Pass, it is. That is where he is going. Definitely pushing that tree advantage. Trojan still digging for that Sunstone here, which in a way, Clean, is kind of good news if the water vein happens to be here as well. He's kind of at the point where he's probably going to end up getting both, but he's got the grenade lock pickup and the Gumon seal left. That is it. It would be really, really unfortunate if the Sunstone was the grenade lock pickup and he didn't go to the Gumon seal or water vein, but that's fairly unlikely. 256 pickups in the video game. Of course, the randomizer wouldn't do that to you.
The odds, you know? So, on the left, we've got Turtle getting to Sorrow with that climb. Makes this a very, very nice, easy trek for him, because this is the intended casual method with your climb chart. It's kind of like the training ground for the climb chart to use. So he'll get access to, I believe that's tree, yes, 7 for Turtle. So both runners are, in a sense, kind of both pretty close together on those number of trees. But we'll just have to wait and see kind of which trees they got to prioritize next. And look at that. The Sunstone is on the Gumon seal.
Oh, that's amazing. So we're going to have to carry this orb for a hot minute. We're going to just take a scenic view of the Misty Woods and enjoy the sights and sounds and the mortar sharks popping out of the ground looking to kill us. Very pleasant experience here. Could actually do the all skills kill here if you wanted to with the skill set that he has. But it's been a while since he's run it, and probably not in his muscle memory anymore, and that's completely understandable. Tree advantage in the meantime is in favor of Turtle. Just has to go into Misty now and complete that, and once he gets to the climb tree, he's also going to be sad that the Sunstone is not there and that he'll have to continue the trek. But he's also going to have the knowledge advantage that Trojan won't have, who still has yet to, in sort of a weird moment, not go to the double jump tree. But when you have the skill set to go anywhere in the game, also not too surprising to see that happen.
Yeah, for sure. Turtle's going to opt to just go through the keystone door from the behind. This is actually kind of a new feature we put in the newer version of the randomizer, where you can actually open keystones from both directions, which allows for this kind of exit of Sar Pass you don't see too often. So that's very nice. He's going to opt to just come down here through Sar this way, and doesn't have to worry about the Curl kill plane trigger, because he'll be way above it, and then he can just stomp, break the rocks with the climb charge. So that's very nice for Turtle.
Yeah, I really like this routing from Turtle. Instead of, I don't even think he had the Valley TP, but coming up through Sorrow, getting a couple extra checks, we know it's good for him that he's got 4 keystones in his inventory, because he is going to need to open the keystone door in Misty Woods, and it is the Sunstone, of course, on the Gumon seal. Trojan is out of there. Turtle is breaking rocks. Is going to have that tree advantage here very shortly once again, and Trojan doing some blind movement here, having performed Rekindle skip, which functions very similarly to Save Anywhere skips, and is going to be moving back on towards the teleporter here. We'll have to see where it is that he decides to go after that. Still a couple trees that he needs to go hit. I would imagine probably maybe getting a refill here, then going up to Sorrow. Fairly easy sequence for him to do. As the runners give a little bit of a high five here at the Valley teleporter.
Yeah, exactly. So now Trojan looks like he's opting to head to the charge jump tree first. Oh, maybe? Okay. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, he intends to head up. So he's continuing to have left side trees prioritized over the right, which, you know, like we said earlier, might at first just seem just, you know, normal, you know, tree to do checklist. But we know that it's very important that, you know, the longer Trojan goes without getting to the double jump tree, the longer that Turtle will have the advantage of having charge jump, which is just, we do have bash grenade, so we already have a lot of vertical movement, but charge jump is just that nice in tandem check that works with climb, and Trojan will also get grenade jumps whenever he gets access to it.
Yeah, and you know, that might be sort of the thing that is having Trojan be a little bit more thorough here with some of his checks than we've maybe seen from Turtle, because this final escape with the health might be just a little bit concerned about some of the wall breaks, even though he has C-Dash available to him. I don't know, maybe that's something that's weighing on his mind. I'm not too sure what his comfort level is with that, but he has plenty of keystones ready to go for Ginza when he does get the water vein clue. Of course, Turtle is going to be the first one to get that. Is going to have a bit of a tougher go here in Misty. Does not have the same HP levels that Trojan did, just sitting on 5. So basically 2 hits, and he is dead. Reno going to be doing, of course, all of these checks and getting energy finally. I'm sure he's plenty happy about that, having been energy starved for quite a bit in this seed. Nice sort of comfortable vanilla, not vanilla, like normal speed run, all skills movement tech here for the most part for both of these runners of Misty, which is always a feels nice moment.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like he's finally going to make the play for that double jump tree, and we'll get his charge jump shortly. Now, an important, I guess, good note to talk about, Shape. We do not know the water vein's location, and both runners have been to all tree locations, you know, combined, and we're not even close to knowing where it could be. So we do have some interesting knowledge, though. We know that the Gumon seal is in Ginza, which by means the water vein cannot be in Forlorn, but we've been to so many areas of the map. Where do you think it could be at this point?
Well, it could be buried pretty much anywhere. It could be just go through all of Misty to get your Sunstone and then have a water vein and Horror, and we're going to find out momentarily on Turtle's side, so keep an eye to the left. Worth noting that Trojan has not checked many pickups here on the way to the double jump tree, and it is in Glades of all places, so there's not a whole lot in Glades they haven't checked. I believe there's the Glades swims. Both a long swim at the Glades main pool and then the Glades grenade pool. Then there's, of course, Gladeser and Grenadeser. I think that's about it that they haven't checked. And especially on Turtle's end, he pretty much full cleared Glades except for some of those checks he simply didn't have the help for or the resources to get to at the time.
Yeah, I mean, they had access to pretty much most, if not all, pickups right at pretty much the beginning of the seed. So actually might be interesting to know how early Ginzo tree was actually in the logic for both of our runners. This might be interesting to see. So now we're kind of nearing that end stretch of the run. Both runners have essentially the same skills except for that stomp pickup on the right. And now both runners are kind of at the end phase where they just need the Sunstone / Water Vein and the final tree. So it's kind of getting near that final stretch to see how our runners are going to be comfortable with completing this final escape.
Yeah, and after getting out of Misty, I think Trojan kind of decided, you know what, enough of this thoroughness. I have enough to just go and hit trees no matter what. And getting charge jump, I think, pretty much sealed the deal for him there. He immediately beelined into Swamp. Whiffed a little bit on this rocket jump there, which this Mortar Shark, sometimes if you're just positioned a little bit too far off to the right, you'll just not get it. If you're too far to the left, you'll charge at him for some reason. It's been happening to me lately. Maybe it's a Windows 10 update thing. I don't know, but Trojan is going to get the information on the water vein very shortly. A couple quick extra checks here that he can do. Maybe hoping to grab it before he gets the clue. We know that he's not going to, and his execution here, Clean, has kind of caught him up compared to Turtle's. Turtle's very close to getting the Sunstone here, maybe about a minute away or so. Still has to go through the mini boss, but Trojan has the information at his disposal now, and it's just a matter of him hunting down the water vein and then going to Ginzo.
Yeah, no, yeah, you definitely said it. So these final checks are going to be kind of just key to see, and as you said, yeah, Trojan has essentially kind of put it himself into a position with his nice execution, and also because he had Stomp and wasn't able, he didn't have to do the Frankie lore to lower BRB, which saved him a good bit of time over Turtle. So definitely you could say he's in the quite position to kind of put this race to the end, just kind of wait and see. It is all up to Turtle as well to see kind of how quickly he can get to the end, which you know, sadly we know for him it's going to be a little bit of a slow one because we have to get that orb all the way. Interesting side from Trojan, he's choosing to check in a little bit of Death Gauntlet, interestingly enough.
I think that's just misremembering what area of the map that is. I think he thought it was Glades when it is Hollow Grove. Understandable, it's a confusing bridge connection area, and if you've been away from the game for a long time like Trojan has, that's definitely something that can slip out. He is going to go over here to Glazer, does not have double jump, which is going to make doing a fast version of this check very difficult, in which you can just charge dash into the brambles and bounce off them and climb up to the next pit and then do a wall jump off of it. If you have double jump, you can basically just do it in one hit. Very difficult to do it without double jump, and he is just going to opt to push this rocket, and that is completely fair. Turtle in the meantime has actually made some pretty clean movement here through Misty for himself as well. He is going to be coming up on this mini boss, has an opportunity to catch some time up on Trojan's kill here, which is a little bit on the slow end of things, and looks like he has both of them down. Just one more hit there, yeah, so a little bit of time saved there for Turtle. Nicely done, but we know he's going to have to go through this walking section. In the meantime, right side of your screen, Trojan Dude gets the water vein. It is at Randomizer, and Turtle knows exactly where the sunstone is. He has indicated it to us with some mouse movements on his screen.
Yeah, it's just like something you don't often expect to see, and it's very, very nice. We have Trojan on the right actually opting to level up all the way to Ultra Defense, which is actually kind of a nice get for him because we do not have clean water, and we're probably not likely to see it because we saw earlier that the amount of XP that was hiding behind dirty water pickups is a lot. So we'll probably have a dirty water escape, but that does mean you know, with the Ultra Defense we'll be able to handle a damage boost here or there, so our runners will be pretty comfy going through.
Yeah, and with Ultra Defense, he's also got Health Regen 3, so that effectively gives him another HP, and if he wants to, he could even park at subsections of the escape in some certain safe zones and be completely fine to just regen if he wanted to. So, as you said, very comfy. Turtle does have the Sunstone, now just needs to go and hunt the Water Vein. Safe to say here, this is Trojan's race at this point, unless Turtle makes some just god-brain plays to go straight to Grenadier. Definitely advantage Trojan here.
Definitely, we just have this long vertical dungeon to get through, so it's not too much of a hassle. We can use all these skills we acquired to essentially just annihilate this mini boss right here. Charged jump being the most powerful damage one.
What mini boss?
Oh.
I didn't see a mini boss.
Yeah, exactly. And charge jump just does a lot of damage in general, so it's just super nice to have at this point.
We do have Ultra Defense spec'd into as well from Turtle. Looks like, I don't believe he did the Glades grenade pool there. It is a bit of a long cutscene. He was kind of angling down there briefly and then dipped back out, and I think maybe that was sort of what crossed his mind. Is like, there's this cutscene that I gotta watch and then swim through the water and yada yada yada. So he's just gonna go ahead and take this Froggy for a bit of a ride, get him to stomp the floor for him since he does not have it himself. Has a bird to kill, no big deal. As you said, charge jump, making quick work of that. And Trojan has acquired all 10 trees, has the 2 necessary dungeon keys, and is on his way to Mount Horu. Turtle is going to be definitely behind the 8 ball here. We're going to have to see some pretty drastic execution errors from Trojan at this point, I would say, in order for Turtle to come back and win this. But with this amount of health and Ultra Defense and a full complement of skills, pretty much I don't expect that to happen from Trojan.
Yeah, he's been playing the seats very, very nicely, and just using that kind of execution knowledge that we know he has in the past to show us really, really nice movement. Also, if you watch to use some stomp cancels as well if he wished. Is he opting to kind of mess around with this bailing a bit, force it up to a possible grenade jump location? Ooh, that might be nice.
I actually don't think we've seen a grenade jump yet from either of these runners. We are probably going to see one at the end of the final escape. There is one that saves us approximately 40 seconds, skipping over the first half of a 2-part cutscene. But we'll have to see. There's another trick here that Trojan's going to be doing called door work, which you press up when you reload the game on the very first frame that the game is loaded in. Turns out you open the door into a completely different place, and that is door work. Goodbye, Mount Horu. We don't have to do that anymore. He's going to be starting the final escape. So as Turtle is entering Ginzo, Trojan on the right is on his way to victory as Kuro swoops down from the ashy clouds of Mount Horu, and Warmth is returned to feed to Ori.
Nice and toasty, and a nice energy cell to maybe have more charge dashes for Trojan. So this should be pretty interesting. He has many ways to break this these floors as well as the walls. Looking to opt for a combination of both, like stomp and potential charge dashing as well. Obviously, you can use climb siege up as well. This elemental room also not a problem for Trojan. You do have this dirty water coming up, but with ultra defense, it only does half of a health per tick, and that's not a problem for Trojan. And finally has one last vertical room that he can sea jump over the Kuro kill trigger. And let's see if he opts to do that final grenade jump.
Yeah, so he was jumping off of that wall after bashing into it because it can kind of reset your position a little bit there and actually make it impossible for you to get a successful grenade jump, or alternately, if you do, it can soft lock you. And he has decided he's going to give one attempt at it and then just cross the cutscene. So we'll have approximately 80 seconds or so of Trojan holding the right, and then he'll be finished the seed and advancing to face Banished Cloud for the next round of the upper brackets, and TurtleRun is going to be facing either the person who died or Fupio down in the lower brackets. So GG to Trojan, well performed, clean. In the sort of mid-game, we were talking about Turtle having a tree vantage. At the time, he was about 6 trees to Trojan's 4. Trojan coming back and winning this. Is there a moment that you can take a look at in your mind that you would point to for Trojan's end that kind of really brought him back into this race?
I definitely think the way he was able to route kind of both that whole right side where he was able to essentially get access to know that access to left side was quicker than Turtle. Also opted to just immediately try for that Misty play, which is a very nice heads up play for Trojan to kind of go through and said, I'm here, might as well go for it. I think overall Turtle also just played really well. They just sadly had those few mishaps, such as the early part of the seed where he broke the wall with the Frankie, but then had to end up doing it again just due to man, the game is being so mean on energy starved for Turtle.
Yep, for sure. I more or less agree with that assessment. Turtle had a couple nasty deaths as well, so it did cost him a bit of time. He talked about that Frankie, and he just had a little bit lower health overall through the majority of this seed compared to what Trojan ended up finding, just through the matter of how they ended up routing it differently. So one of those situations. I don't think Turtle, like he talked about off the top of the broadcast, that he was concerned about maybe randoing himself. I don't think he did that at all. I think he routed his seed very well. Maybe a bit of an unfortunate miss on climb at valley entry, but by no means randoing himself. You get passionate like that. I mean, there are just so many different places that you can go to in the map, and he just made decisions where he ended up missing climb for a bit, but he was first to charge jump, first to knowing the Sorrow TP, and it was just kind of one of those things where it came down a little bit, I think, to execution. So we'll have, I'll give Trojan a couple minutes here to maybe cool down a little bit, see whether or not he wants to pop in for an interview. In the meantime, eyes on the left as Turtle has started his final escape.
That's right, pretty much a more or less similar escape. He does not have Stomp though, so we'll have to break this explore in different methods. Opts for, oh, that's kind of nice. That's like a C jump, C dash route. I kind of like that from Turtle, and as well we'll have to utilize that a few different ways. Who has to get through? Nice hit. The fire wall is not going to take Turtle today. Believe with a little bit slightly lower health, can't really take much damage, but nice, gets through the element of no damage, and can get through this dirty water section as well. And he has glide and C jump, just like Trojan did, so he can do the same strat of getting over the kill plane. Nice. Now he can also, if he opts to, go for the grenade jump spot.
And as Turtle sets up for his final grenade jump, misses on the first one, is going to set up for another one here. We do have the winner, Trojan Dude, finishing in a time of 48:02, joining us here in the broadcast booth. GG, Trojan.
Very much.
So, a little bit of an interesting routing decision for me. I mean, always it's a little bit difficult in terms of, getting bashed. It opens up everything. But you did get the Valley TP there early. You made the early decision to go and chase that. What was your thought process behind making that decision instead of doing Grotto or Swamp?
Pretty much as soon as I found, I went there as soon as I found Stomp, because I knew already, because Sunstone was in Misty and we had Grenade. I was like, you know what? I can just clear Misty right now and not even have to worry about it later. And I was like, there wasn't much else I wanted to chase down at that point. So that was like the biggest reason why I did that. I just didn't want to put it off until later and then have it in the back of my mind. So I just got rid of it. Although I will say, when I got charge jump as a double jump tree, I had a moment of, ooh.
Yeah, that was especially with the Sorrow TP right in the vicinity there as well. I was like, you could have gone topside.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's what it is. I mean, you made decisions, and that's that's rando for you. Like I don't think you routed it poorly at all. Were you concerned though, not knowing the water vein location? Like, I understand the play to go into Misty and chase that Sunstone immediately. Fortunately for you, it was on the Umon seal, so you had to pick up everything anyway. But were you thinking about a possible Misty double dip for the water vein?
No, that's exactly why. Because I knew I could just I don't know. I knew I could just get everything. So yeah, I was kind of hedging my bets. I was like, you know what? I'll hold this off a little bit longer and just wait until I have Stomp, and just so I can clear literally everything in Misty. Because I felt like that was gonna be a big gamble, and I didn't really need to do it like that. Geez, what time did I go over there? I think initially 23 minutes or 24.
Yeah, it was pretty early. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'll just I'll do it after I check some other stuff first.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Meanwhile, we're also joined by Turtle, who finished out this raid with 51-56. GG, Turtle. The pretty nice performance overall. How are you kind of feeling overall with the way you kind of routed, especially I guess the middle game with those left side trees there? How are you feeling overall?
Oh man, I'm just kind of glad it's done, because I was so nervous beforehand, and now there's nothing to worry about. As for the mid game, oh man, I knew I had Sorrow TP really early, but I just didn't have a way to break the floors. And then of course, as soon as I was like, okay, fine, I guess I'll go Valley, the first thing I find is Climb, and then it's free from there.
Right. Yeah. It was definitely a interesting situation from both you guys, because one finds one form of left side interaction with the Valley TV, while the other finds it earlier with the Sorrow TV. That's definitely an interesting scenario when you guys both watch this back, to see how both you guys kind of had a different way of accessing both of the left side. I guess another question for you, Turtle, is I guess kind of a big thing that was kind of a theme of this race for you was just the fact that your the energy location was not being very nice to you at all, and you found yourself in many different energy starved locations. So it's kind of felt like, how did you kind of mentally just kind of go through those situations where you say, I would so badly want to save right now, I can't, there's nowhere to save?
I mean, and you saw a couple times I took deaths to those places where I just couldn't save. I was trying to just play safer while still, you know, making sure I could get all the pickups in a fast way.
Yeah, totally. It's like you gotta weigh both of your options there. Like, be quick or be safe. It's hard to have both so well, but I feel like even with a few deaths there, you both like you routed very, very nicely. So
Thank you.
both like we were watching.
Looking ahead for both of you, Turtle, we'll go start with you first. This is your first bracket match in a randomizer, I believe, in any speedrunning competition
yep.
at all. Yeah, so I bet you talked about it a little bit, that you're glad to have the nerves off. You're gonna go now and face either the person who died or people in the lower brackets. Do you feel like you're probably gonna be a little bit more settled for that match than you were this one?
Oh, no, not at all.
No? Okay.
That
Right.
is elimination, so I have all the more pressure to try and stay in.
Fair enough.
We don't talk about this very often, but you go through all these seeds and you have all this knowledge of races and randomizing stuff, but then you have an actual race with things on the line, and all that knowledge all that stuff's gone. It's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no kidding.
I will tell from personal experience the first time I did this the all skills tournament, and boy, yeah, nothing prepares you for the nerves. No matter how many times you've raced during that first tournament, it just gets you every single time. So that's totally fair.
Yeah.
So that actually leads me to follow up on that, Trojan, because you're a veteran. You've got the experience in an all-skills tournament, randomizer tournaments. You are coming back to the game after a bit of a break. Do you feel that you're kind of getting into that groove now a little bit, that race mindset?
After the last day of preliminaries, I sure do. All those seeds were terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Charge jump behind Wilhelm, are you kidding me?
Those were some very special scenes, but yeah, just to kind of answer your question, yeah, I feel like I was really hoping to kind of build as I was doing more of the preliminary races, and then I did a little bit of practice earlier in the week, and I felt like I was starting to get my groove back a little bit, understanding where to go if I have this and this combination. Because I think that was the hardest thing for me coming back, that I was extremely rusty on. And I've always been, I'd say I'm an average router. I'm not even the top, not even close to top tier routing. And so I just hope to kind of get back to that level, and just try and rely a little bit on my all skills execution to help me a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I like that. And yeah, I guess speaking of that, we do definitely hope that the kind of rust slowly starts to go away, because now you have the honor of facing our #1 seed in this tournament, Banish Cloud. So Trojan, looking forward, how are you feeling and going to approach that match?
Send the massivest amount of help to me. Banish has been absolutely nuts. So I remember what I was coming back after a while. I was I didn't know who was top tier at the moment, and I had heard from people Try Night, because I knew from before. But boy, when I did a couple prelims with Banish, and I just saw some of the times Banish was putting up, I'm like, oh god, hope I don't have to face Banish until the 3rd or 4th round or something. And of course, the brat comes out, I'm like, oh great, if I win this one, I get to go right up against Banish. So no, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and obviously, if you want to do well, you have to face the best. So, praise RNG for the most convoluted, absurd seed possible.
All right, we'll be praying, yeah, for sure.
You will have all my energy, Trojan.
Thank you,
All right.
Turtle.
I like it. I like it. All right, thanks guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. And we are continuing the tournament tomorrow with 3 more races again, 3 o'clock Eastern. We have Avenged versus Gecko, 5 o'clock Matter Monkey versus Aussie, and 7 o'clock Acrid versus Sunny Muffin. For my co-commentator, Cleanfell, I am Shafe, and we'll see you again tomorrow for more
Yeah.
Ori Rando.
And I also wanted to make sure quickly to give thanks to our truck, Sarah Barron and Graham, as well as our restreamer Fox Diamond. We could not do this without you guys. We love you all very much. So thank you so much for all the help. And have a great night, everyone, as we have more Ori fun tomorrow.